Yes,
Yes,
guys.
guys. So we need to cover just a second. Yeah. So we need to cover pre-scene for March 25, right? And I must say that this is a must-do question and requires enough practice, right? The students attempting live, please text me that my voice and screen is clear. If it's fine, so it's great. Yeah. So in last class, I highlighted some important points of this pre-scene. Like this is a charitable organization, right? Let me note here. This is a charitable organization and not a simple charitable organization. It's not a simple charitable organization. It's a one that used to work on historic places, and they do the normal work as well. But see, when it comes to charity, I must say that this is a technical one, right? This is a technical one. So my preparation plan for all of you will be, right, my preparation plan for all of you will be, here is that first do all pre-scene classes by me, obviously, right? Or whom you follow, who's your tutor, right? Secondly, mock based on pre-scene. This is something important. Mock based on pre-scene. This is also an important one, right? Then third, and this will be two, right? These all are part of the crash course. These all are part of the crash course. So mock based on pre-scene. Then third would be um, previous paper, right? Previous paper of charitable organization when SBL used to be, right? When SBL used to be uh, of 4 hours, there was one or two questions I remember. In fact, I'll be solving that for you guys. So 4 hours, do that question, right? And then read exam answer of some important points of some important exams. I'll be highlighting that, right? So this is, I must say, right? This is, I must say, a preparation plan for you guys, right? This is, I must say, whoever, whether you follow me or any other tutor, I don't mind. You have to do these things. Without these things, you shouldn't be going for exam, right? I'm not saying that you won't pass. You will be, inshallah. The thing is that a mental satisfaction is also required, right? So this is what my crash course offers, right? So in previous sessions, we had introduction, right, in which we read that subsector, right, that here we have many charities in Asia. There are many charities, right, which are preserving the country's heritage. So is it important? Yeah, it's important for preservance of culture, right? It's important for preservance of culture, huh? Important for culture. Yeah, that's definitely a sure one, to preserve your culture. Without that, you cannot preserve the culture, right? So making sure your history remains, right? Making sure your history remains. That's one of the best thing, right? Then, uh, then we have charities in the heritage subsector conserves and maintains historical sites and objects to kept at those sites. Now, see, this is one of the objective. One of the objective you have, that uh, you have to preserve those sites, right? As I told you in the earlier videos as well, that there's a problem with this case, is that there are particular objectives. When it comes to the profit making entities, the objectives are quite more, right, a quite simpler and quite profitable one. But here the objectives are different, right? Then they generally allow public admission, which they maintain, so it can be a revenue generating activity, definitely, right? aims to bring history for life for visitors, right? In fact, I'm currently on a tour, and I'm usually exploring the historical sites. The thing is that it gives the visitor an eye, right? So it's a culture determining people that how we operate. Huh? So they seek to encourage public appreciation of and participation in. This includes encouraging members to the public to visit sites and work for the charities as well. And there are unpaid volunteers, right? So this was the subsector that we had. Then regulation, I told you in the previous classes, legal position and all that. Huh? Now, and in fact, at last, I'm making a note for predicting the requirements as well. At last, we have a notes of predicting the requirements as well, so which can be tested here. Right, guys? This is the technical one, as I highlighted a lot, right? Any questions still here, please? If there are any questions regarding this, please ask on my WhatsApp. Otherwise, I'll continue with the other pages. Yeah. So heritage charities are also concerned with education. So again, with apologies, with preservance, right? With preservance of their site, what's there? There's an education. Now, multiple objectives. This is what makes it more technical, right? Multiple objectives they have. So you can have one requirement from one objective and another requirement from another objective, right? So they host visits from groups of school children and students at their sites. Some establish formal links with schools and universities. A number of charities provide training in conservation with other activities. So that's particularly the another source of, I would be saying, not be income, but obviously another source of charity that they do is they give trainings, they give knowledge to the people, they visit to the school children, right? So this is about the industry, not your company. We are doing the industry analysis. We'll do the company later on, right? Here's the company's data, which we have to do later on here. But before that, we have to read for the industry, that how this industry operates. Okay, now the two largest heritage charities, right, in Asia are historic places, which mainly look site over 300 years old, and living the past, which mainly cares for the sites are less than 300-year old. So there are two largest heritage charities, right, in your country. Which is it? Which one? Historic places. This is you, and living the past. And what's the difference here? The difference is this 300 years old benchmark, right? Difference of both entities is 300 years old benchmark, right? So this is the difference, guys. This is the difference now. Now, heritage charities, significant stakeholders, heritage charities, and their significant stakeholders. Now, see, the stakeholders can be whom they fund, right? Significant charities, whom they are funded, whom are managing, those who are managing their charities, the ones, those who are volunteering for theirs, right? So stakeholders can be given. And yes, stakeholder metrics. If the data for stakeholders there, then metrics like Mendelow's metrics of stakeholder, right? If you haven't got that, so please do that. Huh? So Mendelow's metrics of stakeholder, this could be one of the requirement if they have given you the data. right? This was on page 3. So these are all the last revision topics from the pre-scene that we guys have did. From the pre-scene that we guys have did. Now, significant stakeholders. Who can be the significant one, guys? I believe you must be have seen the previous class. I've told you that I've worked in pre-scene. I've worked in charitable organization. My parent company that I used to work associated with a not-for-profitable charitable organization, those who used to do certain objectives. So I have an idea how exactly they operate. In fact, I remember I used to sit in the board of trustees meeting with my manager, that how they decide, how they allocate budget, how they give time and all that, right? So this is mostly kind of a business here in Pakistan, that every profitable company opens the charitable organization as well, right? To keep your picture clean and green. Now, trustees are individuals who oversees a charity's activities, right? Now, this means they just oversee it, right? This means they just oversees it, right? Just monitoring, not doing any exact thing, but monitoring. Now, they are responsible for ensuring that it acts in accordance with its charitable objectives and constitution. So they are making sure that this organization is following its articles, the objectives that they use to make, right? Objectives is the very important word here, I must say. Now, and complies with regulations. So trustees should ensure that the charity's control and risk management, again, a point on risk, right? I would be highlighting it. Again, they are emphasizing this control and risk management. So heavy chances that this would be tested, because here there is no monitoring, there is no that kind of controls in mostly charitable organization, which a profit making entity, because the money is involved there, right? So they might give you a task to manage the controls, or what are the weakness, or what are the risks, how they can manage it. So risk and control is a very important chapter for your examiner, right? Now, so are effective, and the charity is managed with honesty and integrity. They develop the charity's strategic direction in conjunction with the executive management. So again, they are the ones, those who decide the strategy, right? The trustees are the one. Now keep in many those metrics by yourself. They are high power, high interest, right? So they are one who decides strategy. Okay, then trustees are accountable for charities' activities to the charity's supporters, uh, the charity's supervisory board, and the general public. So they are the ones. Again, the agency comes here, right? Accountable. So again, the agency relationship. So these are the topics, guys. Believe me, I must say these are the topics that gonna be tested here. Like when they gives you that whom they report to, or whom we are being reported to. This leads to the agency's relationship, right? So the trustees are being reported to public, obviously, whom the history belongs, and the supervisory. So this was it. And then we have executive management. Uh, Executive managers are employees responsible for day-to-day operations. Now, they are the operational core, right? They are the ones, those who do operations. So operational core, they normally meet regularly as an executive director, executive board, or committee. So they usually meet with the board regularly. They usually are in the committee. They are the ones, those who are following the strategies made by the board, right? So they are the ones, I must say, ones, those implement strategies by board, right? Ones, those who implement strategies by board. Then, paid employees include head office administration staff and staff working full or part time. Volunteers carry out unpaid work at charity sites. So, other paid employees, admin and kind of part time ones, right? Staff working full or part time. So, They are just the paid employees, right? In organization, there are certain paid employees. You don't have to deny that, right? There are certain paid employees there. Yeah. Then we have carry out unpaid work at charity site in their spare time. So volunteers are there as well, right? Just a second. Yeah. So volunteers, the ones those who do unpaid work, I guess you or someone from you must be volunteering for any uh charitable organization in your spare time. Obviously, the volunteers are going to be working in spare time, right? They have no contractual obligation. They have no contractual obligation. Then donors give monies to charities without expecting anything in return. Yeah, the donors, they have no expectation in return, right? You must be remembering the donors are those who have paid money but with no expectation. They just have given that for God's will, that the gods like that and all that, right? So the thing is that this is what the donors does, that they have nothing in return. They just want for peace of mind, for sake of God, that we just have to do that, right? And then we have uh, members, like members pay an annual fee or one-off fee for life membership, which gives them certain privileges depending on what the charity does. Now this is something important. This is something very, very important, right? An annual fee here, or a one-off fee for membership of the charitable organization. Now, what's that? This is again a revenue generating activity, right? Which gives them a certain privileges. The most important privilege which membership gives them are free admissions to sites operated by charity and voting at the charity's AGM, including electric trustees, right? Electing trustees. Yeah. So now what a members do is that if they bought subscription, right? So their entity preserves the sites. And whenever they used to go to that site, they do not pay anything, right? So I believe this is a primary revenue generational model, right? So this is a primary, I must say, revenue generation model. And why is that? The thing is that members pay an annual one-off fee, right? And a live membership, so which gives them a privileges over that. So you have made a kind of a subscription based model at the lifetime, at the monthly, and then the members have the voting at the charity's AGM. Guys, believe me, we used to have shares, right? And we get emails regularly from the companies to attend AGM, and we don't even care. But since I have been into the reporting department, I know there are certain shareholders that just came, that just used to come and ask for some of the questions, although they have the minority holding, but they ask, right? Because it's their right. So similarly, in charities, I don't know how many people would go at the AGM, but there would be some of your people, they would go, they would challenge the strategies, they would challenge the questions, they would do many things there, right? Including electing trustees. And what if they cannot do anything, they would try to disappoint and reappoint and disappoint their favorite ones, or this is what they do, right? If they have bought the membership, so kind of a membership, it's giving powers to people. Now think of you guys, like how you will place this in the metrics. The non-member visitor, it's just like you and me visiting historic places. So it's kind of you and me visiting historic places, right? Then guarantors. Now, guarantors guarantee a specified amount to help settle charities' debts if the charity becomes insolvent. Oh, so there are kind of debtors involved, or guarantors involved, right? The loan givers, huh? Those who waive off their loans, right? So for noble deed and all that, but are generally not otherwise involved with the charity's activities. So non-member, visitor, and guarantors, so they are not involved in any activity, but they come, right, not involved in any activity, but they are the important one, because they have debt over the charity. So they are the ones who's gonna decide on what to do, right? They are the ones who's gonna decide on what to do on charity's debt, right? Guys, I believe that you guys have read this case, but the way I am reading, the way I am making these notes, this is what it's going to be helping you towards solving the papers and the mocks and all that, right? Then charity supervisory board media, uh charity supervisory board. So CSBX, government, ADC as government on overseeing the charities, activities. Then we have media. So stores in the media can illustrate the good work charities are doing. Stores in media can illustrate the good works that charities are doing. So, however, media coverage can also be a source of bad publicity, right? So, media coverage is a bad publicity. For example, stories about charities wasting money. Now, ethical stance, guys. Here, and an important topic is being given, and that's ethical stance, right? Here, an important topic has been given, and that is ethics, right? So there can be certain bad reputational incidents if they got highlighted. Bad reputational incidents if they got highlighted. So ethics can be a question. Believe me, guys, ethics can be a question that can be tested here, right? So stakeholders who give money or non-financial resources, donors, volunteers, members, are sometimes known as supporters of the charity, right? So there are stakeholders, those who give money, right? They are known as donors, and volunteers and members. They are the one those who usually contribute, right? And non-members as well. They collectively call them as supporters of the charity, right? So collective name of all these four, right? Collective name of all these four. Okay, so this is what the stakeholders are, I guess, an important one, right? Here for this, and this would definitely give a question. I challenge you guys, right? This is definitely coming in your exam. The stakeholders metrics, right? Then do let's do the income and expenditure, and then in the other class I would require to prepare a bit, and then we'll be doing the charities challenges and KPIs, right? So now, how does charities earn, right? They don't make, right? They don't make statement of profit or loss, right? They don't make statement of profit or loss. What they do is statement of income and expenditure, and they are usually audited like as well, right? Like our entity, not for profit, they were used to audited by EY, right, in Pakistan. So the thing is that they do, right, they do make the accounts, they for charities, and for making sure that they are not wasting money, they prepare the accounts, right? And it's not hindered. They used to do this. This is what they have, right? Now, donations, this is how the incomes are, right? So there's an income, then there's an expenditure. So incomes are donations, right? In various ways they do earn the donations, right? Contacting possible donors, they used to self contact them, right? Self contact, they ask for the donation for managing historical sites and all that, by email, message, or post. or giving visitors a chance they donate when they visit the historical sites, right? Yeah. The thing is, just don't do this. They just don't do this, right? What they do is they make sure that if anyone visits, they are also asked on donate, right? Who visits on donation, right? If you're visiting, let's donate as well, right? If you're visiting, let's donate as well. Huh? Then charities encourage donations, right? By advertising, including adverts on television and social media, right? So advertising is a significant expense. This must be expensing as well. They haven't mentioned here, oh, marketing is an admin cost, but yeah, they must be doing advertising as well, right? Just like if you are in a green friendly country, they must be advertising about environmental safety procedures. They used to do that. Now, why is that being used? The thing is that these are the entities those who are working for there, right? Now, charities encourage donations by advertising, including adverts on television or social media. Most charities have websites which allow donors to donate on them, right? So donations via website, this is something an hybrid version or upgraded version, right? This is what I have heard of now. This must be, I must be applying on my charitable organization if I may. So via website donation, right? This is something interesting, huh? And technology aspect is given here, right? Via website donation. So charities retain contact details of previous donors and focus marketing campaigns on obtaining further donations from them, right? So this focus marketing campaigns on obtaining further donations, right? Then we have membership, annual or one-off fee. We used to previous stakeholders, we have given them, right? The members, those who have free access to historical sites, so free access to the sites. Then we have admission fees. Then we have admission fees. Now, what's that? Fees charged to non-members who visit charity sites, right? The ones, those who haven't got the membership. So if I haven't got the membership, I'll go into the charity and I'll pay the fees. So this is also the income by the charitable sites. Then we have commercial activities, right? Then we have commercial activities. Now, what's commercial activities? It comes from many sources, right? It comes from various sources. Now, which are they? Have catering facilities. Like if you have gone to the site, there must be catering. So catering is one of the commercial activity they do, right? Catering is one of the commercial activity they do. Similarly, provide snacks and drinks. Larger facility will offer full meals. Now, see, guys, I don't know about the company. I'm just going off making me familiar with the industry so that I used to know. And in fact, you guys used to know. I have worked in the charitable organization, and the best part to know an organization, it's simple to work in them. So I've done that. The thing is, if you haven't worked, you need to read this so you'll get an idea. And then we'll deep dive and jump onto our company, that what exactly it is, right? Small catering facilities may only provide snacks and all that. Charities may open some of their sites at hospitality events. Yeah. Uh, Corporate events or weddings, right? So on events, they also open their donation counter, right? Events, donation counter. Like if there's a marriage, let's say if one of yours have marriage, and rather than spending a lot of money on the food and all that, you have opened a charitable counter that every guest who comes, they don't have to give you money, they have to donate there, and you won't be giving them food, you'll be giving them little snacks, and all the food costs will be donations. So this is how they used to do that, right? Then most sites also have shops, right? Smaller shops may just sell guidebooks or other items connected to the site. For example, books about historical period when the site was in use. So there are certain books as well that used to sell, and now these all must be at a profit making price. So see, not for profit organizations are the ones, those who are not operating for profit, but that doesn't mean that they are not going to earn profit. Now, this is one line you should be writing everywhere. In fact, this is the famous line that I've given now, that not for profit organization are ones not operating for profit, right? They are not operating for profit. But that doesn't mean, wow, what have I said? That doesn't mean that they won't be earning profit. That doesn't mean they won't be earning profit. Guys, this is something you should be knowing, that these all are commercial activities. This must be at a profit manner. So they're not operating for profit, but they're earning profit. And therefore, the audit is required as well. Controls should be good, that there is no wastage of money. Controls should be good, that there's no wastage of money, right? Larger shops sells greater variety of products such as greeting cards, toys, items, clothing, and bags. Uh, some of the items may be branded with charities logo and all that, right? A small number of charities in Asia also operate shops which are not at their sites, but which are located in the shopping area, So a small number of charities also operate shops which are not at their sites, right? But which are located in the shopping area. So shops in the shopping malls of charity to donate. In Pakistan, we used to have boxes. So that's totally depends, right? And again, a revenue generating activity, right? Shops of donation everywhere. Like if you're going roaming around, let's donate. If you're roaming around, let's donate, right? Apologies for my writing, guys. I've worked a lot, but I cannot do anything. This is what the best I have, right? And the highlighted ones are the important terms which you should have remembered, right? Like these are the aspects. Like in paper, you are not going to read this pre-scene. The thing is, I'm making it smaller parts. Just listen to it again and again, and you'll be remembering about the industry, and you can directly link in the exam without even opening the pre-scene. This is what I does in the pre-scene analysis, right? Now, charities incur the following main categories of expenses: site operating cost. Yeah, they are the owners of the site, so they have to make sure it's well managed, right? Owners of sites, the historical sites, so make sure it's well managed, huh? Make sure it's well managed, including the wages employees who work at the sites, right? Then site maintenance and conservation cost. Now, sites requires varying amount of maintenance depending on their age and condition. Some maintenance takes place regularly, right? This is important one, right? This is an insignificant expense because these are the historical sites. They require significant expenses. And guys, remember, there's a craze among people to visit the historical sites. There are certain people like you and me who are busy, who don't even care what the history is. The thing is that there are certain people who gives millions and millions to see the historical sites, and the latest example is the Titan submarine. You must be remembering, like there are a couple of Pakistanis as well who went to see the Titan and they never came back. Now, what was that? It was a craze that you have to see that site. So there are the customers, those who have done enough in the life and they're not interested in doing anything. So they used to do these sites. They used to give and they used to live on by life by visiting these sites, right? So they have some good customer base if they're doing good work, right? Each year and may be undertaken by charities employees, or they can outside the contractors. What I believe is the contractors must be inexpensive one, right? They must be charging enough money. So charities, since are always short of money, so their employees must be preferred over contractors to do these things. Then incur cost conserving historical objects. These objects often require complex treatment, right? These objects often requires complex treatment carried out by specialists. So a complex treatment carried out by specialists. Then admin cost. Now what's that? These includes the fundraising, the marketing we used to tell, and making banners, writing on bridges and all that, sending messages, WhatsApps. These all are sort of marketing, right? Cost of administering membership. They also include the salary cost of the charities, executive management, and other head office administration staff. So charities, executive management, and head office administration staff. Charities can suffer bad publicity and attract less support if administration costs are believed to be too high. Yeah. If your this cost is high, now this is what the KPI is, right? This is what the KPI is. If this is high, that means you are doing something wrong. So audit will be required, right? Something wrong if this is high, right? Now the thing is, why? Because usually you shouldn't be having admin expenses, but since you are doing the fundraising, right, and the fundraising is done by volunteers, so no staff cost. You're doing marketing to make people aware of all these, so it's fine. But if this is high, that means that there is certain bad thing going on. There's something uh that's going on. If the expenses are high in this cost, no problem. If the expenses are high in this cost, no problem. But if you are showing that your admin costs are high, so everyone will ask, what's the admin of yours? Your employees are free, you have very low members working on payroll, your volunteers are there to support you, then why is this high? And the questions can lead to bad publicity, right? Questions can lead to bad publicity, right, guys? So far today we covered about the industry. We had historic places. This is our company's name. Then we deep dived in the sector information. We have done charitable sector, regulation, and legal position. Then how the sector operates. We done in the previous class. Then we had a greater idea on the stakeholders, like which shows us that there's definitely a question on metrics and then incomes and expenditure uh, of the industry, charitable industry. Guys, still you don't know about anything about the company. As far as I believe, the day I'll upload the class, so I can say that you know, right? So this income and expenditure has been done. We haven't read about the company. In the next class, I'll be covering this and probably would start a better thing on your company as well, right? If there are any questions, please ask. Guys, the crash classes, this is one of the extract of the crash classes. Once I have covered this completely, which will be done in a day or two. So what will happen is, guys, that I have to make these mocks which are in process. Then we'll be solving this one paper, NCCP, I believe, and then some important exams, answer reading. This is what you have to do in these 12 days. And inshallah, your SBL's gonna be passed for sure, right? Any questions, if there are, please ask. My number is this. If you want to get added in my group, then also in my caption, the group link is there, right? In my caption, group link is there. And what you have to do is either you can text me on my WhatsApp, you can call me on this number, or you can just join the group and keep connected with me. The rest of the classes will upload probably in 24 hours, and the mock would too on the LMS, right? Thank you.